game. What are the thoughts now you've had a chance to reflect on it?
It's extreme disappointment. Unusual for us in terms of what we try and represent, and in terms of the scoreline. First half, there's aspects of it that were cringeworthy at times. You try and look at things rationally, knowing that we're going into a massive challenge for this group of boys in terms of a Dragons front five that's nigh on full strength, and people like Lewis Evans, 150 games in the back row. We've got a back row with barely 3 to their name. They're not excuses, that's fact, but then you do see that come through, especially when we're a little bit naive in terms of giving them set pieces where they can really hammer home that superiority. And obviously the scoreboard tells its own story, so frustrated isn't the word, it's probably stronger than that. But again, you just try and think, as a coach, where the flow of the game took us really in terms of the half-time messages, and where we were perhaps smarter with a couple of things second half. We showed a bit of spirit and endeavour to what we did. In mitigation, the Dragons had evolved and perhaps taken off some of their players also, but there was clearly a bit of momentum and fight about that second half, and there was a bit of atmosphere around the crowd. But reality is it's not what we expect in terms of that first half as an Ospreys. Certainly one of our low moments.
You look at that first half when they were a point a minute. What do you think going in to the changing room before you speak to the boys? What goes through the head as coaches?
Oh, you're raging, there's things that, especially given a kick trace try near the end, we were just at the end of the first half, we're just wholly unacceptable. But you can't, considering what's in the room, you can't just fly into it and just let off steam for the sake of your own good. It's about being rational about what the group needs and be clear, actually, knowing you're not going to win a game of rugby, but what can we get out of this second half? I thought Steve was pretty clear there, and put something into it, actually give the second half some meaning. So it doesn't patch up a poor night for us, but actually gives us something where you've got to try and take a little bit of where we were smarter and where we actually penetrate the Dragons better towards next week.
And to give the boys credit, they clearly listened to what they were told at half time, and there was a lot more to be happy about in different areas of the game, and some of the boys starting to perhaps show the spirit and character that we expect from an Ospreys player.
Yeah, I won't talk about individuals, good or bad. We've got a big weekend, and obviously some stuff we need to go through with them in terms of reviewing this, and there's the learning there as well in terms of some players we think can really add to the Ospreys in the future. We've got to make this an experience that can be harrowing, but they learn from, as us as coaches have. But also, I'm not going to overly labour the good, but there was some good penetration in terms of the areas we wanted to play for. We built our line-out attack game from far better positions, scored off 2 drives, and plays off the drives are pretty effective. So, it shows there's points in us, and if we can pull it together with a bit more of an all-round integrated game, we can hopefully manage this period.
I think what was pleasing off the field was to see the crowd here at the Brewery Field tonight really getting behind the boys, and they appreciated the effort that went into that second half, and there was no towel thrown in.
Yeah, I think it was perhaps a little bit surreal in terms of everyone in that first half, but I think they did recognise there was effort, there was endeavour, and in terms of us trying to speed up the game in certain areas, they've responded to that. Also perhaps some of our ball carriers stepping up, and there was a hunger with 2 or 3 individuals. Actually, I want the ball, and I'm going to put the Dragons' defence on the back foot. And crowds do respond to that, and I think it brings the best out of some of our players.
Chance to review the game now on Monday morning, and then attention turns back to Pro 12. 2 very, very tough away games with a lot of players missing through international call-ups and injuries, so it doesn't get any easier. No,
it doesn't. No, I mean, we often see the LV is what it is in terms of where it's aided our development in the past, but it's always been with one eye for what comes next. And even short term in this period, we have been looking in around some Ulster work. There's players obviously non-selected tonight who are gearing themselves up for that, and some players have had game time tonight, with a view to getting some form of fitness going into the Guinness League. But as a collective, it's just about bringing it all together now. We've got a broad idea in terms of Ulster and what we want to go with in terms of a game plan, and some of this will re-emphasise that.